And this year here in London, the Donegal Association have honoured Father Brendan McBride by having him as a very special guest here at the annual dinner and gala. Father Brendan McBride, you are most welcome to London.
Thank you. It's fantastic to be here. Completely out of the blue, but it's lovely to be here because I love to come to the diaspora in different countries, like the Donegal Association, Philadelphia, New York, and here in London, and they do so much for the communities and for the people, both through charities and through personal connections.
Well, your life has very much been embedded with the diaspora for many, many years. Perhaps you just give us a little sort of shortened version of where it all began.
It all began back in 1971 when the bishop in Rafo, he had loads of priests at the time, so he said, would I go to England to the chaplaincy work? It was great, like I was young and happy to move. So I went to Coventry, and at that time they were building Spaghetti Junction at Birmingham, and there was a lot of families coming out of north of Ireland that had to be rehoused, Catholic families. And then we also had a huge number of chaplains in London at the time, so we were working as a very cohesive unit. Then I went back to Ireland and then back to Philadelphia, 89. I think when you get old it's hard to remember all these years. And then went to New York and went to San Francisco in 1996, where we started the Irish Immigration Pastoral Centre. So it's up and running for 20 years. And gratefully we are surrounded by a fabulous community, and they just rose to the occasion through the Berkeley thing last year. So it's a work that's very rewarding because you get people who have been really successful and they help the people who are at the bottom end of the ladder, and they give them a leg up. And the Irish are great abroad, really good feeling. They give you a good buzz, and they always love to talk about home. We all do, because we bring that. I think it was Niall Tobin that said, you know, we Irish, we bring three things with us. We bring humour, good looks, and hard work. And he said, you know, if you watch any of us, we all think we're really good looking. But the humour is there too, and the work ethic is there. So we bring a lot to the table when we go abroad. And that's why they're so successful. They're ready to mingle and to help and to do stuff.
At times, like for example, the terrible tragedy at Berkeley, is the faith, does it come to the fore as well? Does it almost enrich faith to be part of that?
It does, yeah, because it's faith in action. It's on the Sunday after the Berkeley thing, we had a mass at the cathedral in San Francisco, and it was magic to see everybody there with their club jerseys or county jerseys, young people in their hundreds turned up, and everybody felt good, and they just needed to pray, they needed to be together, because it was the immensity of the tragedy where 6 young people just died within minutes, and you had the others who were seriously injured. And this was one of the things that people felt they could do. They could go and say a prayer for them. And yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
And now sort of to come to what's happening in America today, is the whole Trump and the president-elect himself causing anxiety and concern amongst all immigrant groups in your opinion?
I think we went through an election cycle that was hate-filled. The speeches were hate-filled. But I've great hope in people and communities that they will survive. They will stand shoulder to shoulder and still protect the values that we have worked so hard for over the last 20 years. And I don't think that will go away, because people are resilient and people are basically loving, and they don't want to marginalize anybody. American society has come a long way, and we don't want to turn the clock back 20 years. I'm hopeful. I know the administration, it will have to soften its stance. Hopefully, I believe that, because people won't accept it otherwise.
So amidst all the kind of concerns, there's hope that America is a great country, that communities will fight back, and somehow or other this too will pass.
Yeah, this too will pass. It's a different era we're in. We were all knocked off our chairs by the result. We were gearing up for a sort of battle in Washington, because Hillary had promised in the first 100 days that she was going to do immigration reform. And then this happened, and we were just absolutely befuddled by what happened. Took 3 days. I think I was depressed for 3 days, but then you have to get up and fight back and look positive and hopeful and helpful.
Well, Father Brendan, it's an honour that you're here in London, and the committee here are a good example, Tony and his marvellous helpers, of what you describe, that sort of unbreakable spirit amongst emigrants in all these fine cities who keep Ireland and their own county, Donegal particularly, to the fore, and there's always hope. And thank you for being with us. I hope you have a marvellous evening, and you've certainly brought those three things. What do you say? Good looks, hard work and
humour.
And humour, and long may it continue. Thank you indeed.
Thanks very much.